during COVID where American somebody was showing the paper certificates of their vaccine and we were showing mobiles. So that change we have already seen in India, and this is the stepping stones toward what India would be in 2030 with all the digital fronts that we have and enabling elements that we have. Of course, if you are filing the tax, it's again faceless. So all these elements count for efficiency, faster turnaround, and less whatever we say under the table things. It's much less. Of course, India is shining on a world stage. Do you have any questions on this? India shining on a global stage. There are multiple facets to it. The recent one, we all seen across India, there were hoardings, and especially Mumbai, all where there was construction going, there were G20 stickers on it. So we know what G20 is. Before India hosting G20, how many knew what G20 was? 20%, 10% heard of G20? When India became presidency, took over the presidency of G20, 140 crore population India, entire, everybody knows what G20 was, plus the press activity that we did through that, and most of the part of the world also came to know what G20 is, what G20 does, what are the purpose, vision, mission, everything. That is what leadership is, and that is what our current government is trying to navigate the world, take the leadership, to show the ways. Previous two G20 presidencies couldn't achieve a stand on African nations inclusion, plus they wanted to sign something on Russia, which India was able to do under that. So it's not just doing marketing and calling people here, spending money. There were already results being seen. So that is leadership, what we are talking about. Last year, on a COP27, India took a leadership in sustainable green renewable sources, and that's when India pledged that by 2030, 40% of our energy consumption will be coming from renewable sources. This is a big statement to make when we have the highest population in the world, 140 crores. With any small Switzerland or smaller countries can easily do it, Dubai or Singapore. But India is pledging this 140, like 40%. Big thing. Infrastructure empowerment. How many of you have seen roads in India which are not paved? Literally, today. You go anywhere in India in last 5 years, small town, like our village is about 700 kilometers from here in Gujarat. Even in our villages also, new roads are being built. So imagine entire India is being renovated today. Whether it's metro, whether it's bullet train, whether it's normal roads, the highways, new railway line that is coming, Bharatmala rail line, the roadways. Under Bharatmala roads, 85,000 kilometers of roads are being constructed. In railways, Vande Bharat trains has been introduced, and they want to replace 8,000 set of trains by 2025. Imagine 8,000 trains, at least 12 bogies in it. Just do the maths. How many new bogies, how many new trains, new engines. That infrastructure is what we are looking at in India in growth terms. Somebody would need to supply all these things. There will be employment generated through this. Of course, we signed the International Solar Alliance where the extra generated energy will be shared across the countries. Now, we have laid what is happening today in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of training, in terms of everything else. Through this all, what do we see is super connected India in coming times. By 2030, imagine today we have about 150 airports running. In 7 years' time, we might have 100 more airports that are coming in even smaller towns. We just not simply see why Indigo and Air India ordering combined 1,000 new aircrafts. I mean, in India until now, there were hardly 400 aircrafts operating throughout the India, connecting entire India and connecting India to the world. And 1,000 more aircrafts are being ordered of this wide body and capacity of 300 passengers, 200 passengers. Where are they going to go? I think we will have more than 200 running airports by 2030. That is connecting India. Roads, we already discussed, 85,000 of just Bharatmala project is being built. Railway lines, metros, high-speed trains, all are being constructed with renewable energy, hydrogen-powered energy. That's the infrastructure growth. Second big thing as an avenue, what I see, you see a diamond industry here, but that was one industry we know where R&D we completely lack. I think you are already putting some light on this topic, but R&D we have seen that there is a Apple or Dell, HP have their R&D facilities in Bangalore and Hyderabad. But what about all other industries? Where are their R&D being done? India is not a hub for every industry R&D. Considering diamond industry, why I put it here, where our technologies come from. It's Israel, Switzerland. Why not India? Diamond, jewelry, all products. Only in lab grown is something where the technology is not owned by us, but we have brought the technology from out and then we started to make our own lab, diamond growing machines. But similar edge we can take in across the industries, and this is a culture that we need to build for R&D. It is an extra investment that we have to make. Yeah, this was what we talked about. Securing tomorrow. I mean, these are the industries where India is going, defense and pharmaceuticals. So with a lot of PLI schemes, a lot of other vision in India, India is investing into these industries where we already saw in COVID, where the vaccine was done in India, and that vaccine proved after 3 years, now Pfizer and they're all going out because it has a lot of side effects, where our vaccine did not have a side effect, which means we have that edge of developing a vaccine within India and vaccinating entire population in record time, and vaccine is also free. Imagine this calculation, imagine this India. It is only done with a vision, and even further, government is still putting PLI schemes into defense and pharmaceuticals. That is securing India. Innovating India. I mean, there is advancement in science and technology. More IITs are being set up in India. More labs are being done. We know about Atal Innovation Mission, where across India they are having incubation centers for startups. And I have seen this incubation center in Hyderabad. It is enormous. More than 1,000 startups can have place there. It is of that size. ISRO missions, we know. I mean, we have seen the movie Chandrayaan and the Chandrayaan 3 taking off. That moment we all see, and I got goosebumps myself, and that was taking up. So that is where we are going. We are already building a supercomputer. Imagine India building a supercomputer. AI initiatives is going to be a next thing. And again in Hyderabad, what I have seen, rest of the India, we will see this. Hyderabad is putting up incubation center only for AIs, where they will be housing more than 700 companies just doing research on AI. When that is happening, that is real innovation that we will be bringing across the industries. Once this is done, imagine 700 companies are every day producing AI algorithms. Where that would lead to India. We can discuss ChatGPT today, but 2030 is when the Bharat GPTs will be discussed all across the world. And you know the launch of Bharat GPT as well. Akash Ambani has already declared that. Skill, when we talk about everything else in India, skilling is most important. And our government and across everybody has understood this, because education plays one role where your primary, secondary schooling is there, your college is there. But what is most important, especially in our industry, we have seen is skilling. You can be 8th grade, 9, 10, 12. You can still make diamond, you can still make jewelry, you can still do the skilled work. So skilling is most important rather than just education. Education brings in discipline, but skilling brings you the real money. So government is pushing a lot behind skill, and they are actually putting up centers for Indian Institutes for Skilling, IIS, and multiple all across India. About 10 of them are being coming up under SRKK, where our foundation is, and we are already in discussion with government to make a skill university in Surat. We already gathered 300 acres of land where our vision is that across the world, if you want to learn region-wise, diamond, there is solar now, into textile. Surat is famous, and South Gujarat is famous for all this. For that, the skilling would happen only from one center. That's our vision. And from there, that's where attachment comes. And already in 4 years, it was in planning. Now the execution will happen. So we see 2030 lights on that project as well. So we can attach our vision with also India's vision by 2030. Many more centers in India would be where only skilling is happening. You enter in 3 months, 6 months, you are out and you're already earning 25,000. I mean, these skills are very small skills which we need every day in our house, in our office, everywhere. Something what Abhishek Bhai was telling in details, and I also believe in this, that and I remember 3-4 years back when we had one of the GJPC function in that Narendra Modi came online and he pointed out to our industry this very point where currently what we are doing, designing in jewelry, is not really designing. It is inspiration from somewhere else, putting things together, and that's what our industry is working. Recently he was in Surat for the opening of Surat Diamond Boots and he mentioned particularly that our figures for our share in export, global jewelry export is about 3%, which can be again debatable, but it is coming to single digit again, not more than 10%, right? It can be 3, 5, 6, 10. It's still very short. We need to get into design, real design where the Italian jewelry, we know it is Italian jewelry or fashion, French fashion is in real designing. We need to get there. Not just in diamond jewelry, but across the industries. So when we design in India, when we make in India is already happening. Government is pushing a lot of things behind Make in India. But design in India, make in India, and now with the largest population in the world, if you start consuming in India again, that population is also opening up to buying things from India. Recently a survey was out by Hurun where it says the largest industry being expanded into India is the luxury products. So people are high-flying, people are buying all the luxury brands, not from somewhere else, but from India itself. So when they're spending in India, we want every consumer of India, 140 crores, if they start consuming their products from India, so we will have a similar case study where we had the vaccine story. Vaccine was being, planned in India, made in India, and we also consumed in India. That cost-effective element we need to bring in. In that case, we will have multiple businesses being built within India. And of course, export is another segment. Then we can definitely export, but we have the biggest consumer base in India, which we need to explore. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, definitely I can take up. I don't think India, for all of us, is the same thing. And we can definitely connect on LinkedIn. You can scan, and it will be linking to my LinkedIn account. Yeah, I can take up questions if you have.
So how are you looking at 2030 in getting more upgraded, likewise you are very upgraded right now also, and by 2030 what is your expectations of upgradation in technology?
Thank you. So some of my points were already from that vision of 2030. So Abhishek Bhai was there, I think, 3-4 months back. And so currently in diamond terms, if you see, technology is all coming from outside. So where we see ourselves is investing in a technology partner and building some auto diamond polishing. Our main planning is, our lacking is in planning the stone, not cutting and polishing it. Cutting and polishing still requires skilled labor, and we don't want to let it go. We still want our hands to touch the diamond. But planning is something where even we are doing it with machine and with human eyes, still there is a gap of 50%. So our investment should go in that direction of how to make efficiently plan a rough diamond into polish. So we want to build, we're already in process with IIT Bombay to design something on these lines. And another project is given to IIT Gandhinagar where they are helping us to build the planning program. So within 2 years, this will be out, prototypes, we work on it. So by 2030, definitely industry will see something which is more auto, more AI driven in this terms. Our industry already has 15 plus years of our own data. We don't want to rely on someone else. So 15 years of data industry has, and if we put it to ML and AI, definitely we don't need any other things in the world to tell us what should we be doing. And yeah, AI ML is I think next technology where everybody should be working. Any other question? Thank you very much, and thank you GJPC for giving me this opportunity and for everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dholakia. I would now like to call upon Mr. Surya Narayan Rao to felicitate our speaker. Due to unfortunate reasons, our third speaker, Mr. Smith Patel, could not come today. So with that, I'd like to conclude by thanking our speakers for this knowledgeable seminar and for the time and efforts that they've put into the session today. And I'm sure it will benefit us in unknowing ways. And I'd also like to thank all the audience that have joined us today. Thank you for coming and wishing you all a great evening ahead. Thank you.